close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon, turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And sleep till I come home, dream of something sweet. I won't be there soon to wake you so discreet.
Hello everybody and get some booms in the chat and welcome to another walkthrough of the text guide with me and my buddy RJTV. Welcome, sir.
Hey, how you guys doing? Just wanted to say really quick that I've been battling some nasty anxiety. I let Tommy know before the stream, and he was gracious enough to, still want to do it with me. But I'm probably going to be keeping my answers really short if I were to get any questions at all, and if I disconnect. It's just because I just couldn't handle it. I'm sorry about that, guys. But anyway, I'm here to go full bore and keep this in a good mood. So let's just think about the positive and knocking this out. Tommy, how are you, bro?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I have been playing a lot of Tour 12 this weekend. I've been home alone, like I should maybe have been cleaning, but I went ahead and played some Golf Clash instead, a ton. For those of you that are grinding, I've been grinding around 2,500 clan points a day, which, interesting. But it's fun at the same time. But yes, hello to each and every one of you in the chat. And yes, you heard RJ just, we're gonna do our best, but that's good that we are two, so we can help each other out. We're gonna cover the notes for the East Coast tournament. For those of you who want the link, link to the text guides, you make sure that you write !text guide in the chat. You will get a link there. Click on it. For those of you watching this video afterwards, you will find the link in the video description down below. Also, we have a November special on Patreon. Make sure you subscribe, get access to the website where you can then log in and access general text guides for every course in the Golf Clash game. So, East Coast Tournament, RJ, I need to ask you. It's Old Holes, Southern Pines, City Park. What's your thought?
Much like every other tournament, I'm really excited. These are very familiar holes for the most part, although there is one hole that they changed. I don't remember which hole it was. I don't have all the holes up in front of me, but now most people are doing like a power hook slice, and I don't know the measurements for that, but that has nothing to do with rookie. So, but I made it through that tour, so I don't have to face that anymore. But aside from that, I love these holes with the exception of, Tommy, what hole do you think it is that I absolutely hate?
That you hate. I think it's hole 8.
Yes.
That everyone hates.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a scary hole.
That's I don't like that either. And for those of you that has never been on a video like this, it's not gonna be any gameplay, and we're gonna go over the notes, giving you our thoughts about the RJ is gonna cover rookie. I'm gonna cover pro, expert, and master. And please get into the discussion in the chat. We're gonna try to answer as many questions as possible along the way. We're gonna try to keep the flow going as well, so we can get through it. If you do have a question that is not answered here in the stream, like, you can always message RJ, you can message me, and we will be happy to help. Please have that in mind. So we're just gonna go and we're gonna go to hole number 1, the par for Southern Pines. How do we play it from front tee?
Just to be fair to everyone here, this is one hole that I am very familiar with. And I don't want to spend a lot of time on the holes, but this is one hole where I'd like to tackle both directions. First, we're going to start with the white direction on the right-hand side. First, it's a 10% hole. With a headwind, you're going to want to use your extra mile because you're going to need the extra distance with a katana. With a tailwind, you can get away with a quarterback. I would say about 7+, and you're going to want a power 3 ball, but you'll have the tailwind there. 1 ball right curl if you have the extra mile. Personally, the safest route if you're going to go this way with an extra mile is to have an extra mile 7+, and then you don't get 1 full ball of right curl, but you do get a lot more curl than you do on 6 and below. Full right spin and full top spin to make sure that you jump over the rough, and then you're going to bounce to the right bottom of the sand and then over the sand to that second box, giving you a straight shot on the pin. Viper, or if you have it, Sniper. two pin is the way to go. It's a straight shot, definitely an eagle opportunity, although I wouldn't 100% count on that. Or if you have lower level clubs but you're comfortable with a rough bump, or you have a guardian and maybe um, uh, Guardian and a Saturn, sorry, or a backbone with a hole. No, Saturn. You could use the black line, and you would just go with an extra mile there. In most cases, full topspin, just avoid the sand, and then your second shot will either be a wood or a long iron, and you could. I don't know if full backspin would work. I like doing the blue line rough bump more so than anything, and you should have lower winds, but there is an elevation difference there. I think you're going uphill, and but yeah, I use the rough bump. Maybe Tommy knows what the actual elevation is going on the left side for the rough bump. I'm not a big fan of the black line with the curl, just because with rookies we're not going to have that curl. But I spent way too much time on hole one, and that's how I would play it.
No worries, buddy. So, pro and expertise, first and foremost, for those of you in chat, you can see that, the dance moves is what brought the ladies to me when I was younger. I hope you get that. Then in the end, the dance move didn't get me Jennifer, but I might gonna show her someday. Yes, so pro and expertise. If we do have a crosswind or a tailwind, we are going to play white line. We're gonna bounce over there to the right to give ourselves the best possible options for the second shot. So we bounce over using 10% extra elevation for the drive, and we're going to use approximately 1 ball of curl, and it's going to be around 4 to 6 bars topspin and as much side spin to the right possible. Second shot, pretty straightforward, sniper to the pin, no elevation. If we're gonna play black line, which is going to be mostly played when it comes from 30, I must say. Especially if we do have a headwind or like even a crosswind from 30, but that could also be a headwind from second tee. We'll just play it straight down the left hand side, and then we'll go for the rough bump from distance. And the rough bump there could be a bit tricky based on what type of wind we have for the rough bump. If we do have a wind that makes us adjust down into the sand, that's going to make it much harder for us to try to get the correct elevation to get the ball to bounce in the rough. But the rough has been changed from the game makers. That used to have a slope there with the rough, which made a rough bump pretty hard, but now it's flat, so that makes that shot way much easier. No elevation is what I played the second shot on hole number 1. You can obviously play that with a different elevation, like if you play 10% or minus 10%, that's up to you. It's all down to the adjustment. So, you can have a different elevation with the same type of shot, but I personally play the second shot without elevation. Decent chance for an eagle, not a super chance, I would have to say. So, okay, hole number 2 then, par 3. Par freaking 3. And this one, I do think this could be a good chance. I don't know if you agree with me.
Yeah, actually I do. Although I had a quick question for you. What do you think brought all the girls to me when I was younger?
Beard. Or no, you maybe didn't have.
Yeah. I couldn't grow a full beard. They called me patches because none of them connected to each other.
Money.
Money? No. That's all right. I didn't know either. That's probably why I didn't get them. Hole 2. I gotta say, if you have a sniper, even at the lower levels, now I wouldn't bring a sniper 1 because you have no top spin or back spin, but I think a sniper is the best club. If we're playing with lower level clubs, though, a Viper will work as well. The reason why I like a sniper so much is because the hill or the backdrop of this hole is, it slopes so much that it'll actually show your ball guide curling a little, and that'll help you find the position, and then you can just adjust based on whether you have a headwind or a tailwind, and then of course the side wind. The hole itself is 10%, so with that being said, I'll go right into the notes. Sniper or Viper with a quasar, full right spin. With a side wind, you really don't need any top spin or back spin. 1/2 right curl if you wish. But if you see with your sniper that it's going almost directly at the hole, you wouldn't even really need that. Headwind, one topspin, tailwind, one backspin. We are not aiming directly at the hole. We are trying to get it to go like make a U because it's such a steep cliff up there, but there's rough right behind it. So don't rely on it too much because you will definitely turn this into a par hole. And when I say don't rely on it too much, don't push your luck. You just want to, it's a finesse shot.
Yes, second tee, we're going to play the same. And as RJ said, do not try to go directly at the pin. I know it's tempting with a sand bump, it's tempting with a rough bump, but we have had this course in the tournament so many times, and we have never got that shot to work because the shot on the left gives us a very good chance for an hole-in-one. From second tee, we're going to play with either the quarterback or the rock in headwind and crosswind. If we do have a tailwind in any form, we're going to play with a sniper. And the thing that is going to be is that we're going to use as much right spin as possible, which means that here a side spin 3 ball is very important. Katana or a kingmaker, so you don't have to go with curl. If you have a side spin 2, side spin 1 ball, you're gonna have to fix with curl. And you know, no, we do not want to go with curl in any form. And it's super weird you have those type of things there. Oh my god. Oh my god. If we play 30, we're going to play with a driver all the time. Doesn't matter what type of wind we have, but if we do have a headwind from the third tee, we might consider to play with the Apocalypse or with the Thor's Hammer, or maybe with the Extra Mile for that matter, if we do not want to go in between clubs. The risk with a quarterback and also with the rock is that we go in between clubs on this hole. Good chance for an hole-in-one, 10% extra, but I want to, you know, put the point on the fact that you need a side spin 3 ball. Very important. Is a quarterback 10 better than rock 7 for this hole? That's kind of a tough question. I don't really know if there is any difference with the stats for rock 7 and rock 8 because I never used the rock. But I would say the important part here is the ball guideline. That's why we do, and obviously the accuracy. The accuracy is no problem. I'm not entirely sure what the ball guideline is with the rock 7, but if the rock 7 has a 4.5 ball guideline like the quarterback, then play with whatever. The ball guideline makes it possible for you to see the ball guideline going up on the green and fall back down, which makes it easier for you to adjust. Yes.
I have a quick question. I've never played this hole this way because it's always been a par 3. But for pro and expert levels, I'm imagining some of those guys might have a rocket level 10, and I'm pretty certain that the rocket does have a really good ball guide. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Would that be an option for those people that don't have a Thor's Hammer or whatever? At that point, should you just go with your quarterback 7 or something?
Go with quarterback 7. The rocket does not have a good ball guideline. It has maybe like a somewhere between 3.5 and 4, even in a max out. The reason we would use the rocket would be with backspin. If there is a course that we do need, we're gonna come to a course where the rocket could actually be an option. Is it 10% with driver and wood? Yes. We're not changing elevation. No matter what type of club we have here. Here, this has been played with 10% extra with any type of club here. Hey Tom, I used to hate this hole, but since I saw your guide on this hole, I've been winning 80% of shooters when I play Tour 9 with a Marlin. Tony, that's excellent. Well done. Well done. You know, playing with a Marlin on Tour 9, that's tough. That's tough. And yes, keep coming with questions. I'm going to try to answer them as much as possible. And we're gonna try to answer them. Okay, Daffy, thank you for checking that. 4.4, then the rock and the quarterback doesn't really matter which one you wanted to have, to be honest. Hole 3, and we have snow on the text guide, but we're not gonna have snow. It's just because, you know, it's played the same way. It's just not gonna be snow in this tournament. So have that in mind. So RJ,
we should have snow. There's snow outside.
Do you have snow there? We have
not stuck on the ground, but it has snowed. I'm the king of getting us off topic. Hole
No.
number three.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so for this particular hole, for rookies, I feel like you have lower level clubs. I think that, in lower level balls, an extra mile with two backspin, yes, that means laying up is the way to go. If you have higher up clubs and a tailwind, I know that there is a way to get over, which could definitely save you a shot on the pin, but we can't assume that. So also a Marlin will be fine here, despite the fact we are going to be using a big dog and Goliath after our initial shot. 10% elevation, in case I didn't say that. So we're gonna want to get up as close to the sand and the rough as possible with, excuse me, without getting dangerously close. Don't push it. I'm just saying that's about where we want to end up. Then we're going to use the big dog with full top spin. I wanted to write this down, but I didn't. I was thinking with the Marlin, you might want to go full left spin too, just because of the trajectory of your next shot. And you're most likely going to bounce before the island of rough, and you're going to bounce over it and end up where that second or third, I should say, black box is near the top of the chart there. And then that will give you a Goliath shot on the pin. And on that particular shot, you're going to want to go with about 3 backspin past the pin to the right of the pin, because there's actually a slope here. I'm not even going to cover the jump because honestly, I don't remember what we used with the jump, probably a berserker or something. So that's what I have for hole 3.
Yes, hole 3 is going to be tough if you have lower level clubs. So, what do I mean with lower level clubs? If you have an extra mile level 7 as your best driver, then you can't play this shot that I'm going to explain now. And I would say if you have extra mile level 8, you most likely can't do that either. You would like to have Thor's Hammer level 6 plus, or an Apocalypse level 6 plus, or 5 plus. Big Topper might, but the Big Topper does not have a high first bounce. It's have a very flat first bounce. So even if it has enormous amount of topspin, it's gonna be tough. So Big Topper is like a little red flag for that one, but it's definitely worth a try with that shot. So what do we do to get over? Full topspin, and then we're gonna play with a power 5 ball. And then we're gonna bounce on the fairway into the rough and hope that we roll through. And now I say hope. So no matter what I do in a guide, I'm gonna say that that's not gonna be consistently possible to do the same all the time, because the rough acts differently. Sometimes we hit the rough on a dead spot and the ball dies. Sometimes we hit the rough, as you probably have seen when you play tournaments or in tour play yourself. When you hit the rough, the ball rolls like it's just fairway. It's like, that's just how the game works. The rough works differently. That's why, in some way, with a tailwind here, we're gonna see, first and foremost, a very different result based on the bag that you're playing with, and 2, if you are lucky or not. So this will, if you have an Apoc 6 plus or a Thor's Hammer 6 plus, and you are having tailwind on this one, then this will be a great advantage for you if so yeah, it's in the end, that's something to have in mind. If you manage to roll through the rough, it is very important, in my opinion, that you play with the Guardian, because if you have tailwind for the first shot, we have tailwind for the second shot, then we would like to have the backspin to be able to push the ball directly at the green, to just get it to stay there. With the sniper, we won't reach anyway. Cataclysm will reach, and the big dog, but doesn't have the backspin, and then we have to bounce it up, which is harder than just aiming for a bigger green with a lot of backspin. Reason I say this is because we have had tailwind on this one before, and then we played it with the Guardian for the second shot. Worked like a charm whenever you roll through the rough. That's the same from the third tee. We need tailwind, then we go full freaking blast. And if we do have tailwind on hole 3, I would not suggest you to play Master if you're not having an Apocalypse level 5 minimum, because you're gonna give yourself a massive disadvantage to everyone that has those clubs if you go up and play with an X-Mile 8 or an Apocalypse level 4. So please have that in mind. So you know, because it would be wrong of you to choose Master based on that, unfortunately. If we don't have a Tailwind, if we take that away from the equation, we just play straight up, second shot we lay up, and then third shot we approach the pin, as RJ explained for Rookie. And that's gonna be for rookies as well, because they most likely won't be reaching over no matter what. 10% for the first shot. Elevation second shot, we're gonna play this one minus 10%, and that is based on if you reach over and play directly to the green. If we lay up, the second shot is gonna be 0, then the third shot is gonna be 0. So just have that in mind. Tough hole though, very, very tough par 5. Get an eagle here, you have a massive advantage over a lot of players in the field. So, we're gonna see if... Tommy, with Tailwind Expert, is it possible to reach second fairway and special ball or club to use? You cannot reach the second fairway directly, that's not possible with whatever ball or club you're having. But it's possible to bounce, as I explained, on the fairway into the rough to roll through. That's definitely a possibility. Hey Tommy, with X-Mile 6, Sniper 7, Big Dog 6, Thorn 5, Backbone 8 to Life 5, can I play Pro or not? Absolutely. Definitely. You can almost play Expert with that bag in my opinion, you know. So, but definitely you can play Pro. Bruner, try it out with Big Topper and Power 5 Ball. I'm not entirely sure it's gonna work, but I think so. I'm not sure, but try. And let me know when you have done it. I'm nearly 3,000 games in and nearly 3,000 trophies. When will the Apocalypse be unlocked? Getting the Apocalypse in any other club is luck. It's completely random. To get the Apocalypse in the shop, you need to have at least 3,900 trophies. So if that was the question, 3,900 trophies minimum, then you will... you know, still be having to rely on the luck to get it in the shop, but it's then gonna be possible. Tommy, would a Thor 5 work? I would say no to that, Paul, honestly, because it doesn't have enough topspin for it. But we'll see. Obviously, it could be worked with different clubs as well if we're lucky, but you know, I wanted to try to push down the percentage of luck that is gonna be needed. So, okay, RJ, now we're gonna throw the ball over to you. Another course with snow.
I saw Trent ask in the comments why so serious, and I kind of looked down because there's like a 5-second delay and just see me stove cold. So I figured I'd lighten it up a little bit. All right, now if you look at the guide here, this actually reminds me of an intersection near my house with all those lines, and oh god, it's a very confusing hole. For rookies, I like to take away as much confusion, as much terrain difference, and everything else as possible. Once again, obligatory 10%. Extra mile that has 3 top spin will work just fine with a Quasar. Go ahead and put full right spin on it, and you want to set up on the left-hand side of the tree, which again is that black line. And then you will stop short of going into the rough. If you do go into the rough, you still, you know, if you have the right rough iron in, you could still make it to the green, but nobody wants to try to shoot on green with a rough unless it's absolutely necessary. So Thorn or Hornet, up to you. 2-pin is the way that I have rookies' best opportunity to get a birdie. I don't know if this is the eagle hole. What do you think?
In my opinion, from the second tee and third tee, we're going to come to the point when it's a weekend round that we're going to see this as a 50-50 almost. Because it's going to be a short par 4 where we're going to be able to give ourselves a chance with a short iron towards the pin. And every time we have a short iron or a long iron, it's an opportunity. Tournament works like this now because people are becoming so good in the tournament structure that it's basically almost down to hit perfect. I say almost because obviously you need to tweak certain stuff, but even with a perfect, you're at least going to be close. So what do we do here? If we start second tee and we do have a tailwind, then there is a power hook that we can go with. I'm not gonna go into details on that one. It's better that I'm gonna show you as an example if the wind is in our favor. If we don't want to play aggressively in any form, we just bounce over normally, following the black line over the rough and the sand, and then we have a short iron towards the pin. If we do have a headwind, we could try to push it to bounce over the bunker on the right hand side, or we just play it straight up with a quarterback, and then we approach the pin as the white line says. So we approach the pin with a rough bump from distance, and that line is gonna be very important when we play from third tee. Because from third tee, if we do have a crosswind or we do have a headwind, it's going to be extremely tough without having a lot of luck and a big skill of using overpower, that it's gonna be bouncing over the rough and the sand from the tee there. So therefore it could be better than to lay up and go to the pin from distance. All the drives, no matter what route you're taking, is 10% extra. Second shot is going to be 0% no matter what route you're taking. So you're not going to add or subtract any elevation whatsoever. And yeah, you know, here I would actually consider, especially from second and third tee, that if you can use a ball with more wind resistance. It's going to help you to approach the pin better. Because you can play with a special ball here, because this course isn't that long. You can see 387 yards, that's not that long. Just a tip, you do obviously choose whatever suits your best. No, Playmaker hasn't confirmed with 3900, but there is enough players that has been trying that out, that obviously it's not something that I can say to 100%, but that's at least what is communicated in the community, and so that's why I refer to that number. But I definitely know the Playdemic has not confirmed that to be a number either. So thank you for that in chat. So we're not gonna coming with obviously any wrong information. Hole 5. Hole 5, par 3. Let's yeah, it's like Mohombi. It's an artist. He has a song called A Bumpy Ride. And I think this one could actually be classified as a little bit as a bumpy ride. I don't know if you agree with me with that.
Oh my God, I remember playing this coming up, and I believe I took the white line even in rookie, but I'm not recommending it because if you take the black line, it's a straightforward shot. Now, will you get a hole in one like Tommy said that Moby sings Bumpy Ride or whatever? I think there would be a lot of luck involved in that. If you have a Saturn, go with the Saturn. If you got a backbone, what do you need? Probably about 4.5 or wow.
Yes.
What do we look? Yeah, about 4.5 backspin on either club will work. And really, you just aim directly at the hole. You could even use a basic ball here. There's no need for side spin. Although in tournaments, I have a strict rule for myself, no basic balls. Even if it just cuts down the wind by 15%, that's something. Just don't forget when you're setting up, 10% additional. And obviously, the more backspin you have, the closer you can get to the hole, which means you can get further away from the rough and the sand trap.
Yes, and this one is a pretty... I say there is some boring holes and stuff like that. This is one for me. There is so many bumpy things here on this one that it's going to be very hard to get a consistent result here. Black line, if we do have a crosswind or a headwind, we can use a guardian, using the backspin on that guardian from the second tee now, and we go directly at the green on the right hand side, because it slopes right to left. So then we can use the right hand side to just use the backspin, and then it kind of kicks back then to the left. But always using a max backspin shot with the guardian, you know, you can't really call that shot a consistent shot, unfortunately. If we do want to follow the white line instead, which could be preferred in tailwind in my opinion, and also in crosswind if you want to, but especially in tailwind, then we play with a long iron, and we play with approximately 3 bars backspin, bounce up towards the pin. But you know, you're not gonna have the ball guidelines, so you kind of have to try to find a position with your long iron there that you can kind of relate to going forward, so you can replicate the position all the time, because that is what I've been feeling being the hardest part with this hole. Try to replicate being at the same distance. Sure, I can use the rough on the right, I can use the bunker on the left, but we have nothing in front or like in front or back to use as a second reference, and that's what makes it very, very tough. So yeah, and this is gonna be a possible hole-in-one, absolutely, but it's gonna be a bumpy road. It should surprise me if we see people missing the birdie here, though. Then you must be making some big mistake, because it's a fairly easy one to at least get a birdie. 10% extra, prone expertise, as I said. Wood club for the black line approach. We have a long iron for the white line approach. If we then play from master tee, it's going to be either a long iron or a wood club, white line, depending on what ball you're using, and a driver if you go directly on the green. So, in rookie, what would be better, Saturn 7 or Backbone 7 for this hole, or does it matter?
You know, just going off of memory, I would say a Saturn 7 would be better, simply because for rookies, I don't know what type of wind we're going to have, but I like to set my target to bounce on the fairway as far away from rough and sand as possible, especially on par threes. So that might just be a preference for me, but that means you can move even further away. So if you forget to adjust the 10%, or, you know, something happens with your adjustment, you're just that much less likely to drop into the sand before. That's really your only big fear on this hole.
Trent, Tommy, will there be low-level video for pro or no? It depends, Trent. Like, if I see a value in, or like, let's say like this. Let's say that I find approaches that that cannot be played with a lower level club than a Sniper 9 or something like that. Then I'm most likely gonna do that, yes. But if I feel that the approaches that is explained can be done with lower level clubs, then I'm going to use them all in the same playthrough. That's what I did the last tournament, because in the last tournament we could use lower level clubs and get the same type of result. And then it would just be unnecessary extra work, just because the club level on the playthrough isn't, you know, visually what we wanted, if you know what I mean. So that's how I'm thinking about that one, because the tournament, when I made a lower level one, that made total sense, because some approaches you couldn't play with a Sniper 7, for example, etc. So that's how I'm thinking, at least. So we'll see what they give us as win in tournament, and what I can fix with it there. So hole 6, RJ. Now we come to the Southern Pines, kind of a remake of it. Second time we have it in the tournament. This one is a tough one. It looks easy, but it's a tough one. So interesting what you have for hole 6.
Yeah, this is the one I was talking about. Although I've never had the chance to play it from the first tee, you know, when I'm on my normal grinding accounts. And obviously in rookie, you're not going to be trying that power hook. But I have tried that power hook, and it's never worked for me because I never received instruction on it. But one way I have gone also is that white line. However, again, second tee, that front tee almost looks like that first set of trees could possibly block you there. But another thing that's a little bit scary is lower level clubs don't have the best accuracy as well as top spin. So that's also a very skinny fairway. So what I'm going to recommend is the black line with your extra mile and a Titan. Now, just because I'm saying Titan doesn't mean you need to, it's still kind of like a layup shot going to the left. You're probably not going to be using all your distance. You're going to probably put on about 2 backspin, unless, you know, we have like a nice headwind in our face or something. And we want to get as close to that second black box as possible. But don't push yourself to where you accidentally roll in the sand or you accidentally roll in the rough. Make sure that you don't do that, because that'll just blow everything up for you. I wouldn't say that this is an albatross hole. Sure, someone might get lucky and drop it, but we're fighting for an eagle on a par 5. You got to get that eagle in tournaments. So big dog, and you're going to set that up with, depending again on the wind, probably full topspin, which is something that I hardly ever say, but it could go anywhere from 3 topspin to full topspin. It really depends on the wind. I would wait for Tommy to play at like 3 in the morning my time and see how he tackled it with the winds to see how much topspin you need. One thing that I am fairly certain you are going to need is 100% right curl, and the big dog offers an awful lot of curl, but you're going to need it. Really, if you can get the ball on the green or just near the green on the fairway, you're doing better than a lot of people who aren't doing such things. 10% for the first shot, and that's what I have for hole 6.
Yes, hole 6, second tee, and here the wind is going to be, deciding which way we're gonna play, basically like always. So if we are following the black line, we do that based on having a crosswind or a headwind. And we're gonna play straight forward using a 10% elevation, trying to get the ball as close to the top right corner there on the side. For the second shot, then we need curl and we need distance. Cataclysm on the big dog. There is no, oh, can I play the sniper? No, you cannot. You can, but you're gonna make it so much harder for yourself. So use the big dog or the Cataclysm there. So you can use somewhere between 3 to 6 bars top spin, as much side spin to the right and as much curl to the right, because you need to curl it around the trees and the rough to get it to the green. And if you are choosing to play on the left hand side, just think away the albatross. You don't have to care about it, because that's not something you're gonna get. So then you just play it for the eagle. But if we do have tailwind, we have 2 ways. There's only one on the picture here, because the other way is gonna be purely dependent on club, ball, and wind. So I can just mention that first. If we do have a tailwind, we can go with a power slice, and that means that we can go with a quarterback, apocalypse. There is different clubs to be used there. It all depends on the situation and stuff like that. But then we can go with a power slice, and we can from 30 actually reach green. We can also go, when it comes to second tee, to reach green if we do have the club for it, and also the wind is there for it. But I will get back to the power slice if we do have the wind for it. If we do not want to go with a power slice, we might not know what to do. And there is plenty of people reaching out to me when I suggest a power slice and ask me for a regular way to play, because they feel uncomfortable with a power slice or power hook. But then you play white line. You go with the club that gives you the most topspin and distance. And here a Thor's Hammer, Apocalypse would be the best, or if so, a sniper. Not sniper, extra mile level 8 could be an option as well. I want you to have as a minimum 6 bars topspin. And then we want to bounce on the fairway on the right, bounce into the rough to roll out, or we bounce directly over the rough and get it to roll even further. But this is not by any means an easy one to get an albatross attempt. But if we do have a tailwind, we should be able to manage to get there, and then an albatross could be a possibility. So it's a tough one here. I like this version better than the old one, and reason I do that, for those of you that might like the old version, and with the old version it was, you just shot it directly into the rough. That was the only thing you did. You just, no matter what wind you had, you went right side and you just full blast overpower. Either you reach over the rough or you didn't, and then that was basically it. And that was pretty boring. This one requires skill with the drive. Second shot is tough, and that's why I like the revised hole number 6. Elevation. 10% for the drive, no matter what side you're playing on. If you play on left hand side playing second shot, you played 0%. If you play on the right hand side, according to the third white marker, you played 20%. Okay? Okay. There we go. And we are gonna go, we just walking through there. Nice. Hole 7, 3 lines. And RJ, which line do we take from the front tee?
Actually, if you are playing with higher level clubs in rookie, I like the white line. You could use your rocket with full backspin. Not sure what the level minimum would be on that. I think Tommy would be.
You mean blue line, right? Blue line.
What line did I say?
White.
White. Yeah, yeah. Blue
Yeah.
line. Oh my God. Maybe you were right on that big purple and blue thing that we had going on. I don't know, but yes, the blue line. And this is rookies now. And obviously from the second tee, we almost always play that with Thor's hammer. But in rookie, you're probably not going to have a Thor's hammer level 5, which I think would be the minimum. Well, you wouldn't even need it. I would definitely go with the blue line, full back spin, full right spin. Depending on the wind, you might want to add just a little bit of right curl to it. But I got you covered. If you don't think that, or if you don't have enough backspin on that club to do that, the white line, right where you see there's kind of like a cutout area of the sand there. Like the sand almost has like a hourglass shape where that white box is. You really want to get as close to the sand as you're comfortable hitting. Maybe great proof it, but beyond that, I would also go with what would that be? A little bit of left spin, I'm guessing, because there's a bit of a slope if you come in that'll funnel it towards the pin. I'm not used to taking that shot that way. I'm used to using the black line, but the black line, however, is for people who have higher level clubs. So yeah, with all that being said, there are definitely 3 different ways that you can play this. My favorite, if you have a club with a lot of backspin, a driver, would just be go with the blue line. And if that's not available, the second easiest shot would be the white line.
Yes, I agree. And here from the second tee, if we do have a Thor Summer level 5, level 6, level 7, or Apocalypse level 6, level 7, we have an advantage once again. It's because if we're going to play directly on the green, which is the best way, there is no doubt, there's no discussion about that, at least in my mind, that's going to be the best way. Then we can use full backspin, we can then go for the green, and we also have distance with those clubs. If we do not have those clubs, we don't have first and foremost, we don't have the backspin on those, lower level clubs. But then we have backspin on the quarterback, or we might have the backspin on the rocket, but with the quarterback and the rocket, we don't have the distance. So then we are kind of dependent on having some sort of tailwind if we're going to reach for the green with the quarterback or the rock. And that's something to just have in mind. But the blue line is the best way. Max backspin, we aim slightly left of the pin, and then with a 10% over adjustment, we're going to be close, or it's going to be in. If we do play with, if we don't have a driver like that, we go back and we play white line. Bounce over there using around 1 top spin, and I would say 3 to 5 bars left spin. We want the ball to come in on the left hand side of the pin, to use the slight slope there to get the ball down towards the pin to the right there. 30, we're gonna not be able to play for the green, most likely. That we can kind of take away. But then it's gonna be either black line or white line, depending on wind angle, depending on what we feel comfortable with. From 30, this is gonna be an extremely tough hole in one to claim and to get. But second tee and front tee, there is actually gonna be some decent opportunities here, in my opinion.
Sorry.
No worries.
Nervous energy.
No worries. Love the new format with RJ. Solid Tank, thank you so much. We enjoy
New
both.
format. New.
Yeah, but
New.
we have been here for a while, but we appreciate every single time. It's awesome. I love to collab and do this type of stuff. And especially it helps me a ton. To go over the notes. Honestly,
for the Americans in here, we had a coach go playoffs. So I was kind of referring to that when I was like, new. So yeah, that did say.
Yeah, you guys in your weird football over there.
Real football, not soccer ball. Football.
Soccer ball is so weird. There is only one football, and
you're right.
That is
NFL.
called football. And Liverpool beat Manchester City today, so I couldn't be happier. So yeah, okay. So what do we have here? Can the quarterback or rocket make it with a power 5 ball? Yeah, Solid Tank, it could. If you're gonna play that route, then I would suggest to play with the rocket instead. Has more backspin than the quarterback, in my opinion. not in my opinion, it has it. Doesn't matter what my opinion is, but yeah. Tommy only used black line with tailwind on turn 9, but often it ends up in the sand. It's because of curl and wind push. Do you have to adjust extra ring for tailwind? Tony, it depends on how it ends up into the bunker. Yes, if you're playing tailwind using curl, you're going to gain more distance. So then you will have to back up and give yourself a couple of rings distance from the bunker. So that's very, very important. Adam says rough bump. Yeah, there is a rough bump to the right there, but with, you know, it's gonna be kind of like a hit or miss, that one. Like if we have a crappy wind, that's not gonna be preferred. As you know, a great left then could be bounced on the fairway over into the rough on the back, and then gonna be a potential par on that one. But you know, I'm not against it, Adam. I'm just trying to, yeah, my thought process about it there. Yes, and now we're gonna get to when RJ makes his double hat appearance. We're gonna go and we're gonna take a look at hole number 8, and hole number 8 is my least favorite hole, I think, in the whole game, and I'm very, yeah. Let's walk through this crap of a course.
Yeah, I wish my camera had a wider angle because I'd love to tell you how to play this hole from the fetal position. Honestly, 10% extra mile. I have Titan for rookie. I'm hoping that that's okay. Again, I'm used to playing this from the second tee, but it's definitely not easy in rookie either. But if you have a Kingmaker and you just want to knock the wind down that much just to be as precise as possible, I'd go with full left spin and about 1 to 2 top spin depending on the wind, and follow the black boxes that you see there. Definitely don't want to over roll, and this is a very slopey course, so there are times that your ball will take like an odd bounce, and it seems like when you hit a hill on its downslope, your ball just like it's not really like a physics thing, it's more of a software thing. But yeah, just try to keep your drive on the green, and then you know, but you need to get that decent distance as well. It's like it's a great hole, it really is. I hate it, but I hate it because it's so challenging, and we'll play the game for challenging holes. So here we go, it's given to us. Viper to pin, bounce over the rough and sand, as you can see on his final black box. And that's what I have for hole 8. Good luck.
Yes, I say the same. I already say good luck to myself as well, because this has been, you know, we can either play just straightforward if I have a crosswind or a headwind. Now I'm talking to the second tee and the third tee directly. If I have a crosswind or a headwind, we bounce on the fairway trying to get the ball into the as minimum to the second fairway pocket there to the right, in between the second and the third bunker on the right hand side. From there we are able to reach to bounce on the fairway over towards the green. But the further we can reach, the easier it's going to be. But we use as much left spin as possible, with somewhere between 1 to 6 bars top spin depending on the wind and depending on how hard we want to push it. So it's up to you what you're gonna do. If we do have a tailwind, we should be going according to the white line, trying for a power hook. And the reason I'm looking for a power hook here, it's not to reach close to the green and yay, we have a good chance for the eagle. Is to get myself past all the freaking bunkers and have a rough iron towards the pin for just an easy birdie. That might sound weird that I'm looking at this hole 8 like that, like just to get the birdie and then run away. But it is a course like that. We're gonna see very few eagles on this one, and I'm obviously going to provide in the playthroughs and stuff a secure way of but at least a very secure way to play this hole. But there is going to be a very limited chance making an eagle on this very tough hole 8. 10% extra for the drive, nothing for second shot. Power 3 ball is definitely preferred, because if we do get some dead bounces and stuff, we fall short and we do need the distance for the second shot. Also, if we do want to play with a power hook or a power slice, then we play with a power 5 ball instead to give ourselves the distance. Oh my god, I don't like it. I'm almost that I want to make a poll and ask if people have the same feeling that you and me on this one, to be honest. But yeah, in the end, hold 9, my friend. We're gonna, we're gonna get it done. Get her done. So, okay, hold 9. Let's
All right,
bring the albatross to its home.
Yes, definitely. I think this is one of our better opportunities to do such.
Yeah.
If we take the black line. I got an extra mile and a katana in my bag ready to go. Only 5% on this particular hole. I like full right spin and about 2 top spin. Full right spin. Notice I said katana, so that's quite a bit. And then you're also going to want to use about half a ball of right curl. No need to go above that. No need to get into danger. As you can see where that black line is, or I'm sorry, the black square, we're going to be jumping over a little bit of the rough and the sand to get up into that fork. The harder drive means the easier opportunity to get on the green to have a straight shot at the pin, and I definitely think it's worth it. I'm not certain if a quarterback could work here. I'm not, I guess it depends on what level you have, because I know we should not be in max distance. We're not using the katana for the power. We're using it for the side spin. Anyway, your second shot, this is the one that might throw you through a little bit of a loop. So make sure you put minus 10% on your adjustment. We're taking away 10% because there's a slight uphill grade here that Tommy found. I say 10% like I came up with that. And I would use the big dog. Big dog, because this is where a little bit of that power to distance might come into play depending on how high up you went towards the rough near that second black box. Bounce on that little pad where you see the third black box to green. Depending on the wind, I would say your club should probably have at least 3 backspin. Now, if there's a headwind, maybe 2 backspin might be okay. But a big dog isn't 100% necessary, in my opinion. But it's nice to have the power and not need it than not have the power and need it. And all of that is just on how consistent you can get up to the very top of that fork. That's how I have us playing hole 9.
Yeah, and I think the thing that you said in the end there is something I'm gonna go into here as well. And to just answer your question, not question, but like your thought about the quarterback, you can use the quarterback to honestly, like, you can use the quarterback, but you need to have at least 3 bars top spin. So otherwise you're gonna fall short, and that's gonna be a tough one then for second shot. Just wanted to add it in there. Okay, second tee, we play black line. We're gonna do that from the third tee as well, but I start with second tee this time around. Play with a kingmaker, give yourself distance and side spin. Very important. Max side spin to the right, so as much as you can, together with 2 to 3.5 bar topspin. All depends on if you have a tailwind, crosswind, headwind. Obviously, headwind you use a little bit more, in tailwind you use a little bit less. So 2 to 3.5 bar topspin. Half a ball of curl outside the adjustment range to the right. Get it down there. 5% extra. And the percent extra for the drive, so you get it down there. Second shot, you either play with sniper or you play big dog or cataclysm. And the reason I say that, it's because, as RJ said, it depends on how consistent you are with your drive. If you manage to overcurl your shot and you clip the rough and roll out, it could be better that you pack the big dog, if you just so you don't have to struggle with the distance for the second shot. But if you feel consistent and you feel that you're gonna do that drive good basically every single time, if not something really strange is happening, then you play with a sniper instead for a better time, or for the albatross. Minus 10% for the second shot to that uphill adjustment, and that's gonna be a decent chance. I agree here. This is the best chance for an albatross in this tournament, and this is not an easy one. So it's an interesting tournament in my opinion, based on that. Gene Springfield, thank you so much for subscribing to the YouTube channel. Welcome, sir. So, okay, I'm just gonna finalize my thoughts about these holes here. I do believe we're gonna see not that low scores here. It all depends on what they do on hole number 3. If they give us tailwind there, we're gonna see a normal, minus 30, 32 to win. But if we do get like a tough win on that one, we're gonna see, generally birdies in that one. Then we're gonna see a much, much higher scores than normal. And I think we're gonna see people winning with like, 20, 28s and stuff like that. So tough to say, obviously, before we know the win. But RJ, what do you believe would be the score over a 18 hole here?
Counting up right now, 8. Let's see, 9, 10, 11. God, in rookie, I'm counting a minus 22, but that is with no drops. I think minus 22, so minus 11, I believe, will get you qualified into the opening round. And then I also believe that it will get you to the weekend round, just based on some of these holes not really being like give me type. Oh, I'm sure people will come up with, like the perfect equation on hole 5 and a couple of these. But yeah, I don't see super high scores. And I'm talking rookies, like rookies, not rookies that are getting ready to make the jump to pro. They're obviously on a little bit higher level. But yeah, honestly, minus 22. So minus 11, I think, could get you through. I think that's steady Eddie.
I kind of agree with you there. It's going to be interesting, though. I will be live tomorrow morning, directly when the tournament starts, 9 a.m. Central European Time, 8 a.m. UK time, also 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you will be there with me. I will obviously stream most of the days throughout the week. So we're going to push some contents, do playthroughs out tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe to get the text guides and stuff like that. Patreon.com/golfclashtommy, and everything when it comes to content and such you can find on the website golfclashtommy.com. RJ, a little bit late stream tomorrow. If you feel better, or how?
Yes, because of the way I've been feeling, I am not going to post a time. And there was a big debacle last time. I thought I set my stream time for 9:30, and I set it for 9. People were waiting for me, but
okay.
Just with the anxiety, I'm not going to set a time. But I would say around 9:30 is normal time. If you are following me on It's RJ TV on Facebook, I'll keep that updated, just because I'm not sure I'll be able to stream every day unless they give me a magic pill when I go to the doctor tomorrow. But Tommy, I made it through.
Yes. There we go. Nice. Very happy about that. It's different to do this alone, man. For sure. So, okay, my friend, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit thumbs up, follow us on social media and stuff. I'm actually been starting using Instagram a lot now lately. It feels weird, but I'm gonna keep on posting there and such. So follow me there. Tommy Lofberg is my name there. So RJ, you ended up as always. Let's go.
Happy stroking to you.
Happy stroking.